Now, John Cena, he was still coming up when he was wrestling with you. He was starting to explode. Since his match with you, he's actually become a Hollywood star and one of the highest paid wrestlers of all time. Any thoughts on him overall?
Yeah, he's, honestly, I like the guy. He's a guy you can trust if you're a promoter, you know. He's there, he works hard, but he had 2 left feet. He was lousy. Wow.
Is there any match with him that stands out to you as the best match you had? Maybe it was on a house show, maybe it wasn't even on TV.
Matches we had in Europe were really good. We had a main event in my hometown, which was a big highlight for me. It was my hometown, and that was really good. But yeah, we were like married to each other for like 6 months, almost every night, working.
And for those that don't know, I mentioned it in my introduction, your father, Rene Dupree, ran a highly successful wrestling territory back before WWE took everything over. Macho Man spent a lot of time in your dad's territory, David Schultz, Landy Poffo, the list goes on and on. Leo Burke, one of the best technicians of all time. What are some of the memories growing up in such a territory where I think there was multiple shows going on at night and sometimes?
Yeah, in the prime we had up to 14 shows a night, just in that small, 3-province area. And Harley Race, may he rest in peace. In 1990, came and worked for my dad, and he stayed at our house. And he was such a gentleman. And one night, after the matches, him and my dad were out at the bar. And then they cut through a yard to get back to their car. And as they cut through the yard, there was a stray dog, a pit bull, who actually was going to run up and bite my dad. So Harley, who had like a metal plate in his arm, he got a car accident, actually smacked the dog. Boom! Knocked the dog out.
Yeah, because he was known for actually having superhuman strength with that metal plate. He would be able to grip somebody, and if you didn't like them, he could take a handshake and literally put a guy down to his knees, and if he hit you with that punch, he would knock you completely out.
He was a man's man. He had broken into business young, just like I did, like 14 or 15. And yeah, the wrestling world lost a legend, definitely.
What's your favorite match you ever saw from Harley Race?
Actually, I really enjoyed the WrestleMania 3 match with Junkyard Dog, just because you know how limited Junkyard Dog was, and you just see Harley just the way he's so good, so good.
Very technical.
Yeah, and the matches, I remember in the Maritimes, he worked against the guys there, like the Beast and wrestlers like that. And he still worked so hard, you know what I mean, every night. Unbelievable.
Did you have much contact with Randy Savage when he was coming through your dad's territory?
I wasn't even born. They were just starting. This was like in the 70s, maybe 75. I was born in 83, so. But when we would vacation in Florida, we would actually stay at Macho Man's house. He'd be on the road touring. And he lived across the street from his parents, and we stayed in contact. So we'd go vacation in the Keys and stay at Macho Man's house. That's pretty cool.
Wasn't your father the best man for Macho Man's brother, Landy Poffo's wedding, which he had in the Maritimes?
Yep, he was the best man, yep.
Did you have any contact with Landy? We all know I've had my ups and downs with Landy over the years. We keep our distances now, but any stories about Landy?
No, I mean, he helped me, he had a mutual friend that worked for the WWF at the time, so that was, it's all, it's just...
Molly, right?
yeah, she's a great girl, and I got a tryout because of it, and I got hired, so I have nothing but respect for the Poffo family.
Now, there's an interesting video online. I actually watched this a couple of years ago when you were in Development Ohio Valley Wrestling. They followed the life of a development wrestler. This is before NXT and the huge TV thing they have now. But you were so dedicated to your diet, you actually set an alarm in the middle of the night where you'd wake up and you would drink protein. Is your diet still that strict, and how has your diet changed over the years?
Well, now that my appetite isn't as much as it used to be as you get older, But yeah, I try to still follow 6 meals a day and try to stay lean and shape. I don't really want to be big and bulky like I used to be. I'd rather be leaner so I can move better. You know what I mean? In the ring. Plus, it's healthier. You got all that weight. It's easier to, tear muscles. It's easier to. It's hard on your body taking all those, Wrestling is very real, ladies and gentlemen.
Now, I really don't know anything about this, but when you did that video with Chris Masters, a lot of people privately messaged me and said, I thought those guys were enemies backstage and they had a lot of heat. Is that just a bunch of rumors, or was there actually something in the past that was eventually squashed?
Yeah, in wrestling, there's very few friends. A lot of people think that, you know, oh, we all get along well. It's like everybody here has a job. There's people at your job that you like. There's people that you dislike. And you don't necessarily hang out with each other after work, right? Just like that in wrestling. So it's very.
Everyone wants your spot.
It's very competitive, yeah. You know, especially when you're at that level, it's very competitive, and you know, and especially with me and him, because we're both the same age and we both have similar looks. So it's a competition, right? You know. But since then we squashed it, and I bought him to Morton's, so we're all good.
And I will say something about Rene. He does have a reputation that he was arrogant in his younger days, but I knew him briefly before he went to WWE, and when I was backstage getting tryouts, when he was having his feud with Cena and when he was tag team champions, he treated me no differently than he treated me now or treated me before that. So I think it's just a lot of jealousy and rumors build. I don't think the attitude is something that is a label that you're really deserving of.
Yeah, I was very quiet. So sometimes when you're a quiet person, you come up, you know, you might say, oh, he's arrogant, because I'm just a quiet person. And you know, it's very dedicated and driven to succeed as far as I could go, you know. So.
Now let's just bring that up. Ted Hart was the one that brought me into Matt Rats. That's how I knew you briefly. There was a kids show that, for anyone that doesn't know, they were going to do this kids MTV wrestling show back around 2001. We were all still teenagers, in our late teenagers. Davey Boy Smith Jr. was there, Ted Hart, TJ Wilson, Tyson Kidd, Natalia, Rick Victor was in it, and Randy Myers from Defy, now he's a star. So a lot of the wrestlers ended up becoming great wrestlers over time. But I was brought into it from amateur wrestling. How were you brought into it? And I've said it before, I wasn't actually ever paid for my match. Were you ever paid?
Yeah, I still got the check at home. When I get bored, I bounce it off the ground. Yeah, no, it was, it's like wrestling business, you know, I was working in the Maritimes and, you know, wrestlers talk and stuff, so, and, you know, Teddy heard of me, so they flew me out to Calgary, and I got to work with Harry Smith, Davey Boy Jr., and it was great, because I got to see Stu Hart, the legendary Stu Hart, before he passed away, and I got to see Harry's father, Davey Boy Smith, with the British Bulldogs they were my team. I love the British Bulldogs, you know. And so yeah, so that's where I met this guy for the first time, and it's kind of weird how the world works, right? Everything comes around, right?